Welcome back to Hypixel Skyblock Ironman mode. To start us off, I used a combination of 3/4 mineral and Divan boots to mine diamonds as efficiently as possible. As usual, I'm going for a booster cookie. With this setup, I'm managing 145 enchanted diamonds every 30 seconds, which equates to about 22,272,000 coins per hour if I maintain an ideal pace. Cookies are only getting more expensive, eh? Cole was the upcoming mayor, and that meant mining fiestas. To prepare for this, I needed to get pristine on my Divan armor for the hours of gemstone mining I'd be doing. My boots have a flawless topaz, but the rest have no open gemstone slots, so I need 300 more worm membranes to make 3 more gemstone chambers so I can get 4.8 more pristine. I think I already expressed plenty how time-consuming worm fishing is last episode, but I'll reiterate it here. It's bad. I fished well into the afternoon, through Hypixel server issues and all, until I reached 200 membranes, at which point I took a break. You know something I've been neglecting? The dwarven mines. There's still quite a lot I can get out of mithril and titanium. For instance, the titanium ring, an upgrade to my titanium talisman. 15 more mining speed and more magical power? Yes please. It was shockingly easy to get the 96 enchanted titanium I'd need to make it. I'd like to take a moment to remember when breaking this many blocks would have taken me 5 minutes. Of course, I still need to wait on all these to finish forging, but that matters less if you set them up at night. I then headed back to the precursor remnants to get the final 100 membranes. The only nice part about worm fishing is that you can usually pair up with somebody to increase your rates, since there's almost always people looking to do it. While over here, I reached fishing level 22. Yes, that is indeed worth celebrating. This skill is super slow. With 300 total membranes in the bag, I still couldn't do anything. As we learned last time, each chamber requires a gemstone mixture. No big deal, just need a bit of sapphire, amber, and amethyst. I already had the jade. Still needed sludge juice though, but my high mining spread makes short work of it. In hindsight, maybe I should have done the titanium after the chambers, but oh well. I threw in my titanium ring and set up the 3 gemstone mixtures. While waiting, I set my eyes on another piece of equipment, the dwarven hand warmers. Its 30 mining fortune and 5 cold resistance are great, but its 37 mil price tag doesn't come from nowhere. It takes a flawless amber, flawless jade, and both a tungsten and umber plate, each of which have their own relatively expensive recipes, as you can see. Thankfully, I already forged the glaciite amalgamations with my existing stockpile. Why couldn't you see it? I forgot to turn off my obnoxiously loud music before recording it. First up, 640 enchanted umber to make into 4 refined umber. If you watched episode 11b, you'll probably remember that this stuff takes a good while to mine in bulk. If you didn't watch it, well, go do that. Umber mining would make decent money if, this wasn't an Ironman series. Now to get 640 enchanted tungsten, which, to be honest, is just a reskin of umber. It takes the exact same amount of time. Once again, it's good for money with the right setup. I collected my mixtures along with the amalgamations, then threw in 3 gemstone chambers and the 3 refined umber I could fit in the rest of the forge. Luckily, refined umber takes almost no time, so I just waited them out, set up the last one, and put in a couple refined tungsten. The next morning, I claimed everything. The ring, the chambers, the umber, the tungsten. I threw in the umber plate, and the final 2 refined tungsten. Using these chambers, I unlocked the armor's 3 topaz slots and put on 3 flawless topaz that I snatched off my old Yogg armor. However, that's still not an ideal amount of pristine for the Fiesta. The next easiest source is the prismatic enchant, costing 40 fine topaz apiece and going up to tier 5. I already had a few levels on my gemstone drill, but I wanted to move over full time to the ETS 555. In other words, I had to get 640 fine topaz to put the max level enchant on my drill. As a reference, a perfect topaz gemstone costs 400 fine topaz, so this is due to take a while, even with pristine granting me a minimum of 16 flawed topaz each time it triggers. And, well, it did. I never stopped to craft and apply prismatic books as I went either, which makes no sense, right? After all, it'd be objectively faster to do that. Counter-argument, it looks way cooler applying a prismatic 5 book. Back to the forge, I claimed my umber plate and last couple refined tungsten, then started up a tungsten plate. I took a flawless jade off my Yogg, which means it was only a flawless amber left to forge the dwarven handwarmers. After grinding all that topaz, getting 80 fine amber was absolutely nothing. The first mining fiesta of Cole's tenure began, and I entered with a few goals in mind. 1. Get enough jade for a perfect gemstone. 2. Get enough aquamarine and citrine to upgrade my fishing gear and adds respectively. And 3. Get enough glossy gemstones for another piece of the mineral armor and to forge the gleaming crystal. That's a lot, right? Don't worry, this will all happen over the entire mayor stint. I spent the entire first fiesta mining jade, reaching mining 57 and skyblock level 145. My time with that fiesta was cut a tad short, but I still managed enough jade to craft 5 flawless jade and use them to forge my first perfect. I also finally set up the dwarven handwarmers. It was only a couple hour forge time, so I waited it out and claimed it. I then applied this blazing spear I'd gotten a while back off recording to give it another 6 mining fortune. The next fiesta began at 5 AM my time the next day. I'm starting by mining aquamarine. I specifically want to get 5 flawless gemstones to replace the fine gemstones I currently have on my diver's armor and topaz rod. The improvement is frankly minimal, but every fishing speed counts when it comes to worm fishing, where I still have probably 15 to 20 hours left for the gemstone chambers. Every glaciate tunnel's gemstone is slower to mine, but in return you're given higher rates for glossy gemstones, so it about evens out. Or perhaps it's better, since I somehow managed to get 4 glossy gemstones in a 30-second period. I did occasionally go into mine shafts, but to be honest, since most of them didn't match the gemstones I wanted, I'd just leave them after claiming the lapis corpses for the 500 Heart of the Mountain XP. I stopped almost precisely at the amount of aquamarine I needed, then moved on to citrine for the rest of the fiesta. I still lacked any citrine gemstones for my fig armor, which is just an outrageous amount of forging fortune I was missing. Well, kind of. Unfortunately, fig armor is only rare, so even 4 flawless citrine only grants a total of 32 forging fortune. By this fiesta's end, I'd stacked up plenty of citrine and now sat at 27 glossy gemstones, 21 short of my goal. I applied the flawless aquamarine to my diver's gear and topaz rod, and threw the citrine onto my fig armor. I also upgraded my mineral leggings to the glossy mineral leggings, completing the 3/4 mineral setup that I'll use for essentially every pure ore. In my third fiesta, I chose to mine ruby, not really with anything in mind, I just knew it'd be the quickest. I suppose I can eventually use them to craft the gemstone gauntlet, although that tool's been so nerfed into the ground that it's really only worth the museum XP to me now. I stuck with it for the entire duration of the fiesta, hoping that I'd be able to hit my glossy gemstone target. By the end, I had 11 flawless ruby worth sitting in the sack, and I just barely hit 32 glossy gemstones. These glossies, and these dwarven materials I've just forged, are going straight toward the gleaming crystal, a reforged stone that applies lustrous to a drill. It is by far the best mining reforge in the game, offering up to 75 mining fortune, although for my epic drill, it'd only be 40. I also threw in a gemstone mixture that I'm going to put toward yet another gemstone chamber, this one for my freshly minted perfect jade. Before starting worm fishing though, I did some gold mining with my ammonite pet to give it a little stat boost. With coal active, this method gives millions of mining XP per hour, enough to drag myself to mining 58 and get my ammonite to level 87. I'm sure you know the deal by now with worm fishing, right? Fish a bunch of worm, kill bunch of worm, get worm membrane. Awesome, cool. I forged my gleaming crystal, got the mixture, and set up my 7th total chamber. Net stop after this sits 55. I tossed the perfect jade onto my leggings with that chamber, granting 40 mining fortune. I put my new gear to work doing some diamond mining, not for a cookie this time. With all my upgrades, I can now get a little over 1 enchanted diamond block every 30 seconds, bringing me over the 25 million per hour mark. I mined up about 18 mil and dumped it into a piece of Necron dye off the cosmetic auction house. Was that a waste? Maybe, but hey, now my feet look cool. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for the ETS 655.